Hi everyone, Tasha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share a fun fold card tutorial using items from the Kat Scrappiness Farmhouse Release. This fun fold panel card is really easy to make and looks great with your pattern paper. I'm going to be using a piece of pattern paper from the Farmhouse paper pad, and I'm using this red check. In addition, I'll be using the Farmhouse stamp set, and this stamp set's awesome. It has a little barn, a tractor, a bunch of little farm themed images, and I'll be using the windmill on this project. And I'll be using the Farmhouse sentiment stamp set, and this one has a large variety of different greetings. For the glitter, I'm using a glitter pattern paper, and this one's from the Autumn Glitter Paper Pad. And then I'll be using black, white, and I'll also be using red cardstock. To begin, I'm going to trim down the pattern paper. I'm going to create two squares. One is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then I'll also be cutting a second square that'll be cut at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. I'll have all the measurements listed in the description box below. These cuts are really simple and I just again love this pattern. Now for the two panels, I'll be using black cardstock and I'm cutting it at 3 1/2 by 4 for the first panel. And then I'll be cutting the second panel at 3 by 3 1/2. So it's going to be a square, but you'll have that 1/2 inch since we'll be doing some scoring. So this will make your little opening panels on each side. I also cut one piece of black cardstock at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So now for the scoring, we're going to score along the long side, and this is our larger panel, and we're scoring it down at the 1/2 inch, just down one edge. So this will have that panel on each side. Then we're going to take our smaller panel we created, and along that 3 1/2 side, we're going to score down at a 1/2 inch again. So again, we'll have that 1/2 inch on one side on both panels, and this will fold in and it'll create that interactive element to your card. And I'm just using my bone folder to just crease that line again. And do you see how it just kind of bends? After scoring, we're going to cut two strips from that pattern paper leftovers, and these are both cut at 3/4 by 4, and you'll need two of them. And this will go on the inside of the card on the top and the bottom. So I'm just cutting two strips, and again they're cut at the same size. I'll also cut my glitter layer, and the glitter is cut by 2 1/2 by 2 1/2, and then the white center card is cut by 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So again, really easy cuts, but I love how it looks with all the extra layers and then the black cardstock on the back. Now it's time to do some stamping. I'm stamping on white cardstock with just black ink, and I selected a sentiment from the Farmhouse sentiment stamp set. This center card is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, so it's just slightly smaller than the A2 size black background base card that we created earlier. So I'm just going to stamp the greeting right in the center, and that's going to be covered up by the two panels. Since I had my Misty tool out, I decided to stamp that center card that we just cut with the little windmill. I love this windmill image, and I was trying to figure out a way to use it, and I thought this would be the perfect card for it. It fits perfectly in this little tiny square, and I think it's just the cutest little stamp. After the windmill was all stamped up, I'm going to go in and start coloring. I'm using Copic markers for this project, but you could use any type of marker or color pencil or even paint. It would look great on this little windmill. So I started by going around the roof edges and then the door area with a red marker. This is real simple coloring, just going in and adding some color. And then I went in with yellow for the little window openings, and then several shades of brown and tan to color the main building area. I just went in with a darker color along the sides to create some shadow, and then kept the center lighter to have a light or the highlight going down the center. So I just used a few shades of brown and tan and just slowly blended those colors together, working from the outside edge and getting lighter towards the center. Once I had the two shades blended, I went in with a third lightest shade and just colored in that whole center area. And this will blend those two colors together but still have a highlight in the center area. And then I went in with a dark brown to the add some more color to the edges, and then that door area I filled in the little panels with the dark brown. Once I was done with brown, I added some green to the bottom. I wanted it to look like grass, so I just made some strokes going up and used the lightest color, but then I went over it again with a darker green. To make sure that I didn't get green marker everywhere, I just use a piece of scrap black paper and I just use that on the bottom so I could do those grass strokes and wouldn't get the marker all over my work area. This is real easy to do. And then for the background sky, I just use a really light blue marker and just kind of added some light detail from the edges, and it kind of looks like clouds. When you use a light blue and just kind of add a little bit of color on top of the white paper, it looks like clouds in that area that you didn't add the color. And I just love how this looks. It's just a really cute little simple design. Now it's time to attach the white panel to the black card base. And again, that card base is a normal A2 size card base, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just going to attach that first and start building up my layers. I tried to have it as centered as I could get it. And then once I had it attached, I'm going to add my two strips. And these again are going to go on the top and the bottom. I'm just using glue runner for this project, but you could also use score tape or you could use liquid adhesive since we're just attaching paper to paper. Even on the glitter layer, since that glitter isn't textured in any way, it's just a pattern of glitter, you could use glue or score tape or any type of adhesive and it'll work great. So now I'm just going to attach my pattern paper to that black panel that we made. And again, remember we have that 1/2 inch scored area, and we want to make sure that when we add adhesive to it, we do it on the right side. So we're going to add our colored pattern paper first, and this way we won't mess up where we're gluing. And then once we're done with that, I'm going to just build up that center panel. So I'm adding the yellow glitter layer with the same glue. And again, this is just going on that smallest panel. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to add the white stamped image design that we created. I just love how it looks with all those extra colors and then having that sparkle from the yellow pattern paper. Again, I'm just trying to get it as straight as possible and in the center area to make sure that I had the yellow frame around the edge. And now I'm going to add the adhesive to those panels. So on that side that folds in, I'm going to add adhesive. So it's on the opposite side of where we added our layers. And I'm going to line it up so it's directly in the center as best as I can and then press down. And do you see how it creates a door? Now to create the other side, I'm going to do the same thing and line the smallest square in the center of that first panel and then press down. And then you have two door openings. And do you see how nice it looks when you have that strip on the top and the bottom? I just love it. To add a little bit more color and just an extra layer, I decided to add a piece of red cardstock. I just thought just having the black, just, I don't know, I just didn't look finished to me. And usually I put it onto a white back, but I decided for this one, since we use red, I would use a piece of red cardstock. And that's just 4.5 by 5 3/4, just slightly bigger than the black base. And then for some finishing details, I'm using some enamel dots from Kat Scrappiness. These are so pretty. It's kind of a red color, but it's not a dark red, and it just has a little bit of shine and sparkle to it. So I'm just adding several of those and then one in the center. And this is how it looks when it's all done. It's a quick and easy card once you get going. You can make a bunch of these at one time, but I just love that it's interactive and you get to use your pattern paper. So I hope you enjoyed today's project and will give it a try. All the details are listed below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and have a great day, you guys. Bye-bye.